So if you are able to give, willing to give, this is a family we know that we're in contact with. And I know she's a single mom and I know she could use your help. So um, she also, the same week, this week, right after the hurricane happened, her dad, I guess, like walked a mile and a half or something through chest high water to come and help her. And in that, he ended up having some medical problems. So he's in the hospital. So she's having to, worry about him as well. So a lot going on. And somebody did set up a GoFundMe page for her. So anyway, just, and I've not heard of anybody else in our New Horizons family, although I'm sure that there are people out there. I've checked in on a couple recipients and they made it through fine. So that we're on that coast. So we have some reminders that we go over every month at the beginning. Just be sure when you're taking your dogs out that they are clean. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to take them to a groomer, just means that they need to be clean. You want to make sure that you're checking their back ends of them and that they're brushed out and they look presentable, because your dog, when they go out with their vest on, is representing New Horizons. So please keep that in mind. Please get your dogs out. The next couple of months, October, November, December, are going to be great months for exposure. I will show you a video in a little bit on one of our dogs that got sent in to me. The handler took them out to something Halloweeny, so which gave me, I happened to be out today as well, and I went to the Halloween store. No, I went to Target to the Halloween section, and I held up all of the little things that like turn on and make noise. And so I'm not going to show you that video tonight, but I'm going to post it on our friends page once I put it together, because we spent, my daughter and I recorded it, and I spent a lot of time just working kayak through that. The first person he went up to was like just a guy standing there, not a guy, but a mannequin playing a guitar. And he was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Totally ignored him pretty much. But then when I got the little hangy things with the hands that move, he was freaked out. So we did a little bit of work on working through that. So just know some of that stuff is in Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, Walmart. It's all over. So and soon, so Halloween is out, and then Thanksgiving and Christmas will come. So any noisemakers, any little animals that can put on the floor and dance or whatever, those are always good for our dogs to see. So, get them out. If you even want to go late at night because you're not comfortable being around a lot of people, whatever works for you. Let's see. Wow, by now we usually have like 20 people on. I see 8. One of them is me, and one of them is our special speaker. So we're going to wait a few more minutes. Anybody have any quick questions before we get rolling and I let Dwayne speak? Anybody? Questions? Comments? Everybody's very quiet tonight. That whole time I was talking, I was thinking, oh my gosh, did I leave myself on mute? But I didn't.
No, we heard you. You were good.
Hey, Wendy,
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay.
Do you have tips on working on reach? So like Ronan is not getting like the sock into the washing machine. Like he just kind of drops it, it falls on the ground. And so I'm telling him reach, and I'm like putting my hand.
Has he been to prison?
Yeah, he's only been in prison.
Oh, okay. And how old is he?
17 months.
And I'm surprised it's not a command he knows, but sometimes it depends on the prison they were in, whether they were taught that skill or not. Not all of our dogs know it. If you can get him up on something with something in his mouth and possibly get him to get over whatever he's in. And as he's doing that, at this point, you might want to use a treat. He's only 17 months to get him. You're teaching something new. So it's okay to treat him. And that's a really great question for Sean, because I know he's taught that skill. So when I usually work on it with our older dogs, like you have, that have been to prison. I don't try it with our puppies just because they don't know it. And very often. It's just it's not even where they just have to go just over enough to drop the item in wherever. Yeah. So I'm going to show you a video. She's not working on reach, but the dryer might be a good place to work on it, where he has to reach in and get the thing, but then also take it and put it in. So I would use a treat and try to draw him over whatever, the garbage, the sink, whatever you're having him put it on, and then use the command. I'm really surprised he doesn't know it, but it could be the person that he was in. So that is also a good question for Sean, because my guess would be that he's taught it. So I will find out. I've just made myself a note.
Okay. I mean, maybe if I use a treat and like lure him to the position I want, and then say yes.
Yep, exactly.
I'll try that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Let's see. I just had a couple of notes on here, but I don't see anybody. I know she's not going to be with us. Excuse me. Do you need something? Did you want to say hello to everybody? Say hello. Yep. And now you need to get off. Yep. That way. I know. Back it up, buddy. There we go. Yes, off. Thank you. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started. We have a couple more people on with us. I want to introduce you to one of our recipients. One of the reasons that I started asking some of our recipients to come on is because I feel it's super important that us as raisers know our why. Now, many of us, I'm sure, get it, but it's still good to hear who is getting our dogs and why it's so important for them and why that dog has really changed their life or helped them tremendously, whatever it might be. So Dwayne is actually a military veteran, a wonderful guy. I had the pleasure of meeting when he went through team training, and he received one of our labs, pretzel. And so I'm going to give Dwayne the floor and have him share his story. Dwayne, it's all yours.
Thank you. I hope everybody can hear me. I'm working on my cell phone here.
Yes.
So sorry about that. Anyway, my name is Dwayne. I'm an Army combat veteran. I went through the process to get a service dog because my psychiatrist thought it would be a great idea for me for my therapy. Got turned down by Southeastern Guide Dogs because I'm bipolar, but New Horizons took me in. I'm a family member to New Horizons, no matter if they want it or not. I'm family. So let me tell you, one, I know where y'all coming from as puppy raisers, because I actually raised two puppies themselves, Dior and Humvee. They went through me in the beginning of their training. I got Humvee when he was 8 weeks old and started his training there. So I know what y'all are doing, and I appreciate it. I really do. Let me tell you what Pretzel's done for me and why it's important as puppy raisers that we do what we do. You know, I wanted to, the reason I did puppy raising primary is because I want to give back to New Horizons. I can't afford to give New Horizons $25,000, $30,000 for a dog, but I know the importance of what it is. So I figured that's why me and my wife took on raising two dogs and more in the future. But Pretzel, what can I say about Pretzel? That dog's got a mind of his own, but you know what? He does his job. So let me tell you, I had this issue where if I got into a crowded area, I would break down, I would hunker down, and I would take shelter somewhere. Like I can go to an amusement park. Long story short, a brother that I served with in combat called me up, said, "Hey, me and the family are going to be in Disney. Let's get the families together." I thought that was the greatest thing. That was my Christmas present for the next decade. You know, this is prior to me getting Pretzel. Even when I'm with somebody that I've served with that had my back, the crowds, I couldn't handle it. I just massively seek refuge somewhere else. Even my brother I served with was like, "What's going on, bro?" I'm like, "It's just everything going on with me. It's my PTSD. It's everything. I'm losing it. I feel like someone's out to get me. I feel like someone's going to try to kill me." So when I got Pretzel has actually been able to take that stress off of me. Not all the way, but I would say 90% of the way. With him being beside my side, dogs, we were born and we're raised as when we're born and raised with dogs, we know that they're our protectors. Even though our New Horizons dogs are not going to attack nobody or hurt nobody, I have that sense of security with Pretzel beside me, knowing that if something was to happen, Pretzel's got my back. Again, Pretzel's not aggressive, not that way. It's just that my brain's telling me this. It's like, okay, he's a protector. So when I go out, it helps me out. My wife wanted to see how things were improving. So we went to Busch Gardens. And boy, Pretzel loved Busch Gardens. All the animals around, he was just all fascinated with that. But it was a big improvement for me to be able to go and enjoy time with my family, and not be scared. I had my moments, but nowhere near as it was when I was at Disney a couple years prior. These dogs are an extension of ourselves. They really become an extension of you. Pretzel is a godsend. I needed that. My psychiatrist actually has wrote a report up about a year after I got Pretzel and highlighting the attributes of what Pretzel has done for me and the changes that she has seen in me. Just all because of Pretzel. These dogs change people's lives. They're changing our lives as raisers as well. But when we give them to somebody who we partner them with, they're going to change those lives as well. I can't tell you the things that Pretzel has done for me. I mean, I trying to write stuff up the other day, trying to elaborate on what I want to talk about, and I'm going to wrap this up. But Pretzel, I know these dogs ain't trained for certain things. But I'm going to tell you two little quick stories, and I'm going to wrap this up. Story number one, Pretzel's not trained to detect body problems. Just twice detected gout. And he looks spots in my ankle and stuff like that. Next day I got gout. He knows. It's impressive. Here's another thing that we don't teach. I know we don't teach. But these dogs, with all their training that we give them, they learn things. They're smart. They're highly intelligent. Really, they are. Pretzel Pretzel was not trained to calm somebody down or diffuse somebody. But when I get agitated, you know what Pretzel does? Pretzel will start licking my hand and nudging my leg. Let me know that he's there. You know, that's things that he does for me. I mean, so just please continue on with what y'all are doing for New Horizons. Raise them puppies. You know, people like myself need them. I never thought in a million years I would need a dog. I mean, a dog to be by my side. But I accepted it. I embrace it. And I know that I need Pretzel's help. That's the same thing that other people, I'm sure other recipients of other dogs can say almost the same thing, if not the same thing. So I appreciate the time. Sorry if I rambled a little bit, but I could go on for days about Pretzel. I really could. I will say this. I got to say this. I'm done. I basically rent Pretzel for my wife. He during the day, he sees that vest, he gets up, he's like, man, I'm going to work. Okay, I'm good to go, going to work. But as soon as I get him home and give him the command to release, he's mama's dog. I mean, he just loves mama. So it's just like I bar him, during the day. So, but anyway, y'all have a great night. Appreciate it.
Dwayne, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. That is so good to know, because sometimes we don't want to give them up.
Right. It's true. But thank you.
You're right. It is true.
Thank you for coming on and sharing. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a great night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
I have loved watching Dwayne and Puzzle over the last couple of years since he received him, and it's just cool to watch a team just meld together like glue. It's very cool. So when you see them from the beginning and now you see them a couple of years later. Okay, so let's see, do we have anybody on yet? Okay. Kirsten, do you have Kiwi?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I just wrote myself a note, sitting at crate door.
Oh,
Does that mean
yeah.
anything to you?
Yes, it does. I had brought it up last time, and then I actually messaged, what's the guy that's a trainer that's helped us out a lot?
Sean.
Yeah, Sean. I messaged Sean because Kiwi, and I know he's just excited, but when we bring him out, when he's been in the crate for a couple hours and I come home, he will sit when I ask him to, but he is so hyper coming out. I try to reward him and let him come out, but he is just, and he jumps like 20 feet high, and jumps, and I get him right outside. And once I get him outside, he calms down a little bit, but it is still a huge challenge to get him to come out of the crate not being crazy.
So what did Sean suggest to you?
Which is hard. We're not even, I'm trying. He said rapid fire commands, but that doesn't really work. I'm trying, but the command, Kiwi's still learning his commands.
Right. Okay. So he knows sit, right?
He knows sit and wait.
Okay.
He knows wait. He does wait for his food. I'm struggling getting him to wait at the door. He knows watch me. He always, when we're walking and I say, watch me, he'll turn and look. He knows kennel. He knows go to bed.
Okay, but hold on. So if he's acting crazy, I would leash him. I would have him sit in the crate, wait, open the door. And as soon as you open the door, I would leash him. And then I would stand there and I would step on that leash until he calms himself down, and he will.
Okay.
As soon as he shows any signs of calmness at all, I would be like, yes, and then get him outside. But
Okay,
I wouldn't take him outside while he's acting nutso because you're kind of rewarding his behavior.
okay.
So I
Leashing makes a big difference. Sorry, excuse me.
no, it's
Wendy.
okay.
Yeah, with leashing, like I've done a lot of leashing since our last Zoom
Mhm.
because sometimes I work from home and do meetings at home, and he and my other dog will start going at it, and
Yep.
I have to leash him. And I sit on the leash.
Yep.
You know.
I have a 9-month-old, and
Mhm.
sometimes he can sit, and I tutor online. Sometimes he can sit through 2 hours of tutoring and not say a word. Other times he acts like a knucklehead and he can't leave Quinn alone. So he's
Yeah.
9 months.
Yeah.
So, they're still puppies.
Right.
And I think the expectation is we as handlers have to get them under control. Like we can't expect them to be under control by themselves because they don't know how. So I think you should leash him every
Okay.
single time he comes out of that crate. And then
Okay.
don't talk to him until he settles himself down.
Okay.
The
Okay.
minute he shows any signs of like getting calm, then I would be like, yes, and then get him out. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, because my concern is he's acting like a knucklehead as you're bringing him out, and then you're taking him outside. And so you're rewarding that knucklehead behavior.
Right. Yeah. And I do that. I need to do that. I have because I have to leash him in our yard anyway when I take him out. It is
Okay,
very hard for me to get him on the leash because he's jumping.
Right.
So I really need to, when I slowly open the crate door,
right.
leash him before he even
Yep. Comes
puts
out.
his head out the door.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
okay.
And then, we've talked about stepping on the leash,
right.
which would make it so that he can't move very far. And then,
Right.
and I wouldn't even make eye contact with him. I just stand there, we're just waiting. And he'll eventually he'll be like, okay, what is the problem here? And then the second he settles, you could even have a treat. I mean, somewhere on your person. Like I wouldn't be holding it in your hand because he'll be, but in
Right,
your
hold on.
pocket or yes. But
Yeah.
and as soon as he begins to settle, yes, good settle, and then let's go. Let's get outside. But yeah, my concern is if he's acting woohoo, which they do, that
Right.
we're reinforcing that behavior by taking him outside.
Okay. I
Yeah.
will work on that.
Yeah, I know. It's a work in progress.
It is.
Okay, so the video
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
and I have one more question since you're
Okay,
asking me.
okay.
So I keep working on down. I've got the difference between our down and off now.
Okay,
and
good.
I know you guys talked about this, and he is doing that. He's gonna be really good helping people get things off the counter. But down, he loves ice, which I know a lot of our guys do. So I use that as a reinforcer, but trying to get him any other tricks, I just bring it way down and keep trying, but he does not go down on command. Like, do you guys?
How old is he?
He is, let's see, 3, 4, 5 and a half.
Okay, he's, do you
So
know,
normal? Is
you
this
know about,
average?
yes, it's normal. Do you know
Okay.
about, down is much harder. Do you
It
know, have you done puppy push-ups with him?
Puppy what?
Puppy push-ups?
No.
No? Okay, let me see. Let me just give you a quick demonstration. Quinn, come here. She might do it. Come here.
Kiwi,
Come on,
here.
sit. All right. Can you see her? Quinny, sit. Come on. Get you gotta help me out. She's like, what? What's your problem? Okay, let's see. These are puppy push-ups. They come in really handy. Quinny, stand. Yep, good girl. Come on, stand. Okay, so with your dog, you might need a treat. Let's get a treat. I don't need one with Quinn, but I'm just gonna use one because usually puppies need it. So hold on, these are puppy push-ups. Quinny, ready? Quinn, look, sit. Yes, and then wait. She's like I said, down. Yes, and I don't give her the treat yet. Quinn, sit. Yes, good, down. Good, down. Yes, sit. Good girl, down. Oh, good job. Sit, and then eventually I give her the treat. I don't give it to her right away, though. She got to work for it. Quinny, look, watch me. Sit. Yes, down. Oh, good girl. Sit. Oh, good job. Down. Yes, sit. What a
Ah,
good girl.
okay.
Down. Yeah, now she should start to do it. Quinny, sit. Yes. Quinn, down. Quinn, down.
That makes me
I
feel
don't
good.
have any more. Quinny, watch me. Down. Yes. Good job.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can do that. I mean, with puppies, that's a
Yeah.
game. They love puppy push-ups.
Okay.
So
Will do.
yeah, and
We'll
you can
start
do them a couple times a day if they follow you into the bathroom. I used to do them. Well,
Yeah.
I don't do them now
Yes.
because my bathroom is like super small. But but when I was in a home, I did them all the time in the bathroom.
Okay.
Dogs would come with me and we do puppy push-ups. Sometimes I would push all the rest of the dogs out and I would just work with one dog at a time. So yes.
Can you make a recording of that?
I just did.
I'm serious.
It's
That would help us too.
You guys have never, where have you been? We've been doing puppy push-ups forever.
I don't know. I've
Okay,
never
well,
seen it before.
now you've seen them. Yes. They're
Yeah, I love it, but I want to show London. You know,
oh, okay.
she's
Well,
dancing.
this is recording, so you can come back and watch
Okay.
this.
All right, I will. Okay.
Now that's with an older dog. If I had Kayak in here, if when he comes back in, I'll try. He's a puppy, but he will do it. That's what I'm saying with the puppies, especially. You want to use a treat, but the older dogs should be able to do it with no treats. You might want to use a treat intermittently, but that's really good for practice for sitting and then down. I know, and down is hard for some dogs. Kayak does it when he wants to, and he's 9 months, and other times doesn't. So, okay, so I'm going to show you guys a quick video about like what to do in regards to training through bad behaviors. Okay, it's from, I think it's from Pupford. It's a quick video. It's like 6 minutes. He relates it to sports. So if you're a sports person, you'll understand this. The analogy he uses. Let's see. All right, hold on 1 second. I know that it's up. Okay. Well, let me go here. And it's up. Okay, so here we go. Share your screen. Yes, I will. This, share. Okay, can everybody see the video?
Yep.
Yes, okay, here we go.
The Perfect Pup Podcast. My name is Devin. Too often, as pup parents, our dogs do things that we don't want them to do. And in the heat of the moment, we try and fix the behavior. We try and think we're going to train this out right now as it's happening. And as you've probably started to find out for yourself, and I've learned with my dogs, trying to train in the heat of the moment rarely works. It's just not a recipe for success. So in this episode, we're going to talk about some other strategies and things you can do to be more proactive and help better train your dog. So let's get right into it.
So keep in mind, the command I think that he's going to use is not necessarily one we all use. Some people use place. A lot of times when the dog gets placed with their person, they'll teach them place. So don't necessarily worry about the command he's using, just the idea behind it.
In high school, I played soccer. I loved my coach. He was a great influence on me. And looking back, he really understood this concept of being proactive. I remember as a high school kid thinking like most high school kids, that I knew everything. And we would run this drill and we would run it over and over and over again. It would get to the point where as teammates, as high school kids, we were like, really, coach, we have to keep doing this over and over. Like, we're going to practice pushing the ball out to the wing and crossing it in and attacking the ball. We're going to practice this over and over. And it was so boring and we kind of hated it. But what happened was we became so good at that during games, that kind of muscle memory just switched on. And it was like, hey, we've practiced this so many times. And what was ironic was that I had the same coach all through high school. In my sophomore year, during games, sometimes he'd be screaming at us from the sidelines, or at halftime, he'd say, push it out to the wings and cross it in. You got to attack the ball. He'd be telling us these things, but in the heat of the moment in those games, it was hard for us to kind of learn and really make those things happen. And as I progressed with that coach, junior, senior year, I saw him get smarter as a coach and coach us more efficiently by practicing those things over and over and over during practice. Because the old adage of how you practice is how you play is so true. And that theory rings true for our dogs as well. Too often, our dog starts doing something, let's say, for example, jumping up on guests when they come through the door. And in that moment, we start kind of panicking internally, and it's, let's try and redirect the dog or call them to us or tell them to get off or whatever it might be. Whereas if we were to step back and practice those behaviors outside of the real moment where they're happening, just like those soccer plays, we would have much more success when the actual game is happening, when people are actually coming through the door. When the moment's happening where our dog is doing something that we don't want, oftentimes we get stressed and our ability to communicate with our dogs decreases. And naturally, things just don't go as well. So here's what we can do as pup parents to just better set our dogs up for success. Really, what I found, it comes down to making a plan and practicing. Just like my coach made us practice pushing the ball up to the wing and crossing it in, we have to practice with our dogs in kind of made up scenarios, right? Or not real scenarios, but realistic scenarios. So for example, guests coming to the door and our dogs jumping up on them. What we started doing in our house, it's given us great results. My dogs are by no means perfect at this, but we've seen improvements. We will do dedicated training sessions where we work on the place behavior. We've decided that we want the replacement behavior for jumping up or crowding guests at the door or barking when someone knocks on the door. We want the replacement behavior to be to go to their place. So what we've done is we've done place practice. We will do a couple simple ones, get them on their place for a few seconds, release them, call them back, increase the time, start adding in a few distractions, just building up that kind of base layer. But then we will do fake knocking. We'll either inconspicuously knock on the door, or one of us will go outside and knock on the door while the other one's in there being able to practice. And what it does, if nothing else, it gives us as the humans that moment of, okay, I know no one's actually coming the door. I don't have to be embarrassed. I don't have to be overwhelmed. I know what's going to happen. I can be more cool and collected as I'm training this behavior for my dog. And you've probably noticed this in yourself, that when you're able to sit down and say, okay, this is the behavior we're going to work on, you kind of anticipate and know what bad things might happen or what mistakes might happen for your dog. And it allows you to be a little bit more focused and attentive to really teaching what you do want versus focusing so much on the bad. So I hope that you can just think of being proactive with your training and recognizing that in the moment, it's a very challenging time to be trying to teach your dog. So as much as you can, practice before the actual game, right? Practice before those potentially triggering situations are happening for your dog. And I can guarantee you that you will have more success with your dog's behavior if you can approach it from a situation where you are in a little bit more control of the variables and environment, and you can better set your dog up for success. Because so much of what we do is giving our dogs the ability to succeed and then reinforcing those behaviors as they happen. So I know this was a bit of a kind of not metaphorical, but a more of a abstract look at how we're training our dog. I hope this gets you thinking on how you can look at those challenging behaviors that your dog has and find ways to create a plan and practice before it's actual game day. If you found this episode helpful, please forward it to another pup parent and leave.
Okay. So a couple of things that he said that I thought were very helpful is you want to set your dog up for success. That's always the way. We don't want to see our dogs out there making mistakes, failing. Okay. Set your dog up for success. So like today, when I took Kayak to Target to practice, I was there specifically to practice. Like I did my shopping and then I said, okay, we're going to focus on, because I knew he would have a problem with these Halloween things that make noise. I just knew he was. I've had enough experience with him that I knew, and I was ready. I had treats ready. I had somebody to video. I was ready, and I was really wanting to not only watch him but watch myself, how I handled it. So we want to set our dogs up for success. It's important that we have the ability to communicate with our dogs. He also said that, and make a plan and practice it. So my plan was go to Target, get over with the Halloween stuff, all the things that make noises and light up and blah blah blah, and see what he did. And I was pretty much sure I knew what he was going to do, and then set him up for success, which I pretty much did. And then he also talked about replacement behavior. So who was on that just had Sage? Did she leave? Oh no,
It's
she's still
me.
there. Okay. So I was thinking about the replacement behavior that you want for Kiwi is for him to come out calmly out of that crate. That's your replacement behavior. That's what you want. So how are you going to get there? Well, one of the things is we're not going to reward him for acting like a knucklehead. So rewards would be treating him, talking to him, anything, mostly talking to him. So like I said, I would definitely leash him, and then I would stand by that crate. How far is it from the crate to your outside? Dead air. Kirsten.
Sorry. I'm
That's okay.
sorry.
That's
The
okay.
dogs were wrestling and I couldn't hear you.
Okay. How-
Crate to outside.
Yes.
I've got a squeaky ball going and they're done. Well, it's the crate's right there. The crate's in our living room. And we
Okay.
just have to go around the couch out the screen porch. So
Okay. Okay. So
it's
it's not this
directly-
far. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's not-
like I said, your replacement behavior is that you want that dog to be able to walk. He's a puppy, so he's going
Right.
to be excited, but you don't want him to be acting like he's crazy. And I know they do. They can act like that. So
He does. Yeah.
the goal would be to focus on your replacement behavior. The replacement would be for this dog to be calm. So how am I going to get there? Well, I'm going to leash him. I'm going to step on his leash, and I'm not going to talk to him until
Yeah.
he settles. The second he settles or shows any signs of settling, good job, a treat, whatever. And then immediately, like I said, walk out. And I think if you consistently do that every time,
Okay.
you're going to see an improvement. Because not only that, his age, as he ages, it
Right.
will get better. But the more consistent you are
Yeah,
with
it,
what your
everything.
expectation is,
Okay.
that's a perfect example. He's acting like a knucklehead. So
Right.
it's something, you know what, you might want to practice with him when he's like, put him in the crate just for a couple minutes, sit down on the couch, and then get back up and take him out of the crate.
That's a good idea. That's a good.
Practice with him, because
You
every
know,
time
he
you're doing it,
doesn't do that. He doesn't do it. So we have two crates. We have one downstairs in the living room, and then we have one upstairs that's bedtime.
Mhm.
His bedtime crate, he's not as crazy coming out. But he's been next to Jenna all night. So
Okay,
his one down here, it's when he's been alone and
right.
Pumpkin's been out teasing him probably.
Yep. So practicing just a few minutes, put him in the crate downstairs, sit on the couch, even if you're 5 feet from him, sit on the couch, and then go and take him out. And so if he comes out calmly in those 5 minutes,
Okay.
hugely reward him. Talk to him, treat him. I mean, because that's when he's gonna be like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to act.
Ah,
It'll make sense. Let's hope.
okay.
But it's about consistency. It's not about once or twice. It's literally every single time you pull that dog out, and throwing some 5-minute practices in there.
Okay, we'll do that. I will practice that.
So I hope that video was helpful. I have watched, I listened to, I guess he said Pupford. I should know this because I listen to them all the time, but they do have some really good podcasts. Not all of their commands are the same ones we use, but they're close. Same idea, and just helpful to hear from somebody else. Okay, so let's see. I have a couple other videos that people shared. Let me see if I can find them. Let's see. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna go with Sage. I have Sage's video. So, yep. So I want you to, when you're looking at these videos, we're looking at just listening to what commands were used, how the dog responded, and how the handler and the dog work together, okay? All right, let's see. I'm gonna play it once because it's real short, and then I'm gonna play it again.
Watch me wait. Okay, Sage, look. That's it. Get it. Bring it. Hold. Give. Yes, good girl.
Okay, wait. Okay, so here we go again.
Watch me wait. Okay, Sage, look. That's it. Get it. Bring it. Hold. Give. Yes, good girl.
Okay, so I want to give you a little background. Apparently, Sage has had Sage is high energy. That's the first thing from a puppy. And she has had some issues with the retrieval sequence. She's been with a razor into prison, and now she's back out with a razor. Okay, so we're gonna watch this one more time. Nope.
Watch me wait. Okay, Sage, look. That's it. Get it. Bring it. Hold. Give. Yes, good girl.
Okay, first of all, love the voice. Exciting. Dog wants to work for that. Okay. Had the retrieval sequence. Anybody see any issues with just that 10 seconds? That's what it was.
She didn't wait or look at me.
Right.
But
Right.
that was the end of that our session tonight.
Okay.
So she 100% knew I knew what she wanted. She knew what I wanted her to do. So we'd
Yep.
stopped looking at me at that point.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you'd already done that a few times.
Mhm.
And so that was the end. Yes. Yep. But that's, yeah. So that's your retrieval sequence. It was really fast, but I think because you'd had Sage working at it, she was like, oh yeah, this is fun. Right. And at that point she was like, I'm just going to do whatever. I'm just going to do it all because we've already done this and I
Yeah.
know how to do it. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That was cute. That was cute. Anybody else have any comments, questions? So your dog's coming out of prison should know that retrieval sequence. Look, get it, bring it, hold. Some of them may not need to hold it because they do it automatically. Some dogs, you may need to teach them to hold it. And that will be, gently holding their noses before they drop it in front of you, getting them to just hang on to the item. Because remember, a lot of our recipients don't have a lot of hand control and they need that item to be either in their lap or in their hands. So you have to decide where your dog is. I'm just trying to think, look, get it, bring it. So if you have a puppy, I would just focus on them bringing items to you. Get it, bring it, give. Get it, bring it, give. I would just focus on that because puppies usually are pretty willing to bring you anything. Doesn't matter what it is, they will pick it up in their mouth and bring it to you. And we want to make sure that we're not squelching that. We want to be excited. Yes, good job. I love Nikki's voice at the end. She was very excited for Sage. So just keep that in mind. We don't want to squelch the retrieval. It doesn't matter if they have your best glasses. I know you're like, oh my God, but get them as quickly as possible and reward them because they're just doing what comes naturally to them, which is picking things up in their mouth. So those of you that have not tried things that are metal, somebody made a suggestion, I think one of the last classes about putting like peanut butter on it or something that will entice them to pick up like a metal spoon or something, because we do want them picking up keys. That's a big one. So keep that in mind. Okay. Let's see. I have another. Where did it go? Okay. This is, I just lost one of my, where did it go? Okay. This is, all right, hold on. Be patient with me for one. Nope, I don't want that. And you have everything lined up and then the computer doesn't work the way you want it to work. Okay, I'm gonna do this one. This is just, this is Kayak practicing up and off at Home Depot. I just have him getting up on everything, every surface that I could find at Home Depot. Oh, wait. It would be good if I shared my screen first. Nope, that's not it. Okay, can you see the video? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good boy. Kayak off. Good up. Kayak off.
Now you'll notice I let him stay on this grate for a while. There was something that smelled good up there. I wanted him to really feel the grate under his feet. So I had him up there longer than I might normally on other things.
Yes. Good job.
Now here I tapped on it because he was a little reluctant, but once he saw my hand up there, he was like, oh, okay, your hand is there, must be it's safe. And because the cart was moving a little bit. And so he just was reluctant, and me putting my hand up there, tapping on it, made it so he wasn't.
Kayak up. Kayak off. Kayak up. Up. Turn. Step. Good job. Kayak up. Oh, good boy. Off. Kayak up. Kayak off. Kayak up. Up. Kayak up.
So I didn't ask him. I think you heard my husband say, you didn't even ask him. I didn't ask him to climb. I just brought him to the front of the stairs. I wanted to see if he would do it on his own. Went right up with no problem.
That's awesome.
Okay, let's go. Good. Yep. Yes.
So this is where we at the very end, after he'd gone on every surface I could think of, this is where I had him pick up a couple of things that we were getting, and he was able to get those with no problem. So I just we were at Home Depot, and I thought, you know what, we have been trying to get on different surfaces, and so we just got up on every different surface that we could think of. Home Depot is such a great place. I want to say you guys are going there this month, I think. A Lowe's or a Home Depot is the training. I thought that's what Laura said to me. Anyway, just we were there half an hour maybe, and gave him lots of opportunities with a cart, moving carts, all of that kind of stuff. So, you go there early in the morning or later in the evening, and a great place to train. Any questions about that? We just worked on up and off for the most part, just to reinforce those over and over and over again. Okay, I have Mango here, I think also. Let's see, hold on. Where is Mango? I have everything else open, but not Mango.
Hey, Wendy, Faith has her hand raised.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Faith.
I'm just wondering, when Fred is pretty mouthy, like in addition to jumping on people, he likes to take their arm and put it in his mouth. So, I mean, the only thing I know to do is say,
Yep, that's a thing.
I mean,
That is a
that's
thing
all I
with a
can
lot
do.
of our Goldens. We had Wrangler, and Wrangler did that as well. And we were like, It was very firm though. And you have to be proactive. You can't even give him the opportunity, one, to jump, and two, to mouth somebody. The second you know you're going to see somebody, meet somebody, greet somebody, he has to be stopped. He has to be seated at your
Yeah,
side.
it was. Yeah,
So
it was coming in the house. So you know, I need to do the leash thing when they come in the house
yes.
because that's why he did it, because he wasn't leashed. You know.
Okay, yeah, and they'll get away with
So.
things if they can get away with it. They will. They'll try to yeah, that's a big golden thing, especially if they've not been stopped at a younger age. They will just put, and they have no intention of hurting. It's almost like they're
Yeah.
trying to lead you somewhere.
It's like a love bite too.
Yes.
Like a love. I don't know. It's just like
Yeah.
lovey.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, but it scares people because
Right.
they're so big.
Yeah. And they think they're
And
biting. You know.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and they're really not. They're not.
I
But
know.
yeah. So
I
you
have a
want
So
big-
I mean, yeah,
Oh,
I just
sorry.
didn't know if there was like any, like, you can't really say leave it. So you just got to go,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you want to tell them leave it because you don't want them biting on somebody's arm and then immediately
Right.
follow with and then be sure that you're
Okay.
following up with
Both.
him getting off,
Okay. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yep.
not that jumping up. How old is he now?
6 months.
Okay. Not
He's
okay,
little,
like
Fred.
it's okay. He is, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
he's little. Not Slate doesn't do it. Slate's older. He knows.
he's young, okay. But we still
Yeah.
it's not something you want to let them get away with.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, somebody
Thank you.
I've had a big issue with that as well for both Sage and Cassian, but with my one particular child. So it requires child training.
Oh, okay. If the person is still talking, I can't hear her. Can anybody else hear her? Can anybody hear me? Did everybody freeze? Is anybody out there?
Better.
How old is Sage, Nikki?
She's 1.5 years,
Okay.
or almost 2. She'll be 2 in January.
Welcome back, Wendy. Up, you're
Oh,
muted.
now you're muted.
I don't know what happened to me. I'm not quite sure, but here I am. Nikki, you were the one talking about you've had to train your child.
Yes, I have to train
Okay.
my child. It's a child training thing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Faith, did that kind of answer your question? I would definitely, if you're having any behavior problems in
Yeah.
the home, I would definitely
Yeah.
leash them. Keep them by your side with a leash, and don't give them an inch, because if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, guaranteed. Okay, I have a video. This is Dina with Mango and working on just exposures. All right, hold on. I have to share first. Okay, can you see the video? Yes, somebody?
No.
No, we
No.
just see.
Oh,
there-
yep.
Can you see it now?
Now we got it.
Okay, all right, here
Yeah.
it is.
We have the sound, but we can't see the motion. It's kind of weird. Oh, there. Slowly. maybe.
Okay, did you get it? So basically, she's got this
No.
terrible Halloween creature. I'll play it again in a second, making all this motion, and she's just sitting with Mango, kind of making fun of it, basically, just being very matter of fact. I'll play it one more time. I don't know about the dog, but I would be running as fast away. Could you guys hear it that time?
Yes, we could hear it. We couldn't really see what was going on, but we get the point.
Jumping.
We can see her sitting, kneeling next
Okay.
to him.
The
So
the creature or it's like a scary clown, and it's moving. It's going around like this, and yeah. So Mango just very nicely stood and got fed while she watched this terrible thing. So just exposure. And I asked Dina what that was. I guess it was like a Halloween store that pops up at this time of year. So
I think it's Spirit. I was gonna go there this week.
oh,
The
okay.
Spirit stores.
Yeah, yes. That's what she called it. Yeah. Okay. And then I have any questions about that? I felt like she sat a good distance away. I don't know if later on she moved closer, but I felt like the distance was good and just sitting there calmly. And she actually sat on the floor on her knees at the dog's level, pointed to it, made some comments to Mango. You know, that's where your ability to communicate with your dog comes in, and just setting Mango up for success, knowing what she could handle. So I think she must be Kiwi's age. So what, 5 months? Yeah.
yes, yep, they'll be 6. I have a funny story. I took Kiwi with me to work at school. And I took him into a room he hadn't been in before, like my therapy room. And I have one of those horses that you can get on, the kids climb on and bounce up and down. And it was so funny to see him come in and like really have to explore that horse to see if it was real or not. And he kept jumping around it, but he did good. You know, I just kind of quietly was like, it's okay. And I touched it and let him know. And then he was fine. He never barked at it or anything, but it's funny. Yesterday we were in a park and saw a statue of a girl with a dog. And he was all like, you know, but I just have been going over and touching it
Mhm.
and
Yep.
to let him know that it's okay.
Yep. That's what I do. I
Yeah.
say it's not a big deal. I'll name whatever the thing is. I put my hand on it. You know, depending on what it is, I might even hug it. I just let Kayak know that, okay, this is no big deal. It's just nothing. So, you know, let's move on, unless he can't move on. And then sometimes we'll walk away and come back to it. So, okay. And the last one. Okay, cannot do that. Let's see the last one. Did I send it? I did those. And where is? Okay, so this is Kipper, who is at the grocery store. And I'm going to share my screen first. Okay. All right. Can you see the video?
Yes.
Okay.
A little timeout for loving.
Oh, let me just tell you. So this is Margot and her son, Matthew. Matthew is 15, 16, and he has autism. And so they're raising this dog for somebody else, but with the hope someday to get a dog for Matthew possibly. But Matthew has definitely benefited from all of these dogs being in his home. So
Oh, up, oh, look at Skipper found. Leave it. Oh, that's so tempting, isn't it? Leave it. All right.
okay, I'm gonna play this one more time, mostly the leave it part. So hold on.
Oh, look at Skipper found. Leave it. Oh, that's so tempting, isn't it? Leave it. All right.
Okay, so she says leave it. Does anybody know what and I've already talked to Margot about this. She sent it to me, we had a long conversation. So does anybody know what she needed, what she was leaving out when she was telling him to leave it? Those were, if you didn't see them, they were
The
those dog bones.
marker,
The marker, yes.
Yeah.
Because he did turn away, put his face away from it. And that second, she should have said, yes, good job. And he probably would have walked away. The other thing is, she probably shouldn't have said, oh, look it, blah, 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 and named it. If she didn't want him to go near it, she should have just said, leave it. And when he did, she should have said, yes. You don't want to make a deal of something that you don't want them touching. Like, for instance, you're walking through the store, you don't want to say, oh, look at the bread. Oh my gosh, because then they're like, oh yeah, I can smell it. It's delicious. Let me put my nose in it. You just say, leave it, and then give them the marker the second that they start to draw their nose away from it, and you're seeing that they're going to leave it. So, yeah. And then the nice thing about that was Matthew was having a difficult time. This was before the hurricane. They were getting kind of prepared, and Kipper was definitely a helpful dog in the store because Matthew was starting to have a meltdown, I guess. He was struggling just having to go through the store. So Kipper was there to help him out. Any questions about that? I'm just reading something on the chat.
No, that was good.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, Liz, if you didn't read what Liz's comment was, that Ronan was super mouthy with her kids and her husband. And once she put him on a leash for a couple of weeks, he realized he realized that like being mouthy wasn't going to fly. She's also been getting him to go straight into training with a sit down and settle when he gets too wild. So Kirsten, this would help you if Kiwi were a little bit older. Now Ronan is a dog that's out of prison and he's gone through a lot of training, but so I think that Sean's suggestion of getting them to go through a series of commands is good, especially once Kiwi
Once
knows
they're better
more.
at commands.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm stuck because he's just all he knows good is sit, and then you open the door and he's like,
Right,
"Ah,
right.
there."
Well, that's why
So
sit,
I like the
leash him.
leash. Yeah.
Yep. And then step on his leash and wait for him to chill. Because he will. If he can't get away from you. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I can do this. Can you help me for a second? Just kind of point the computer. If I can show them puppy push-ups. All right, kayak. Dead asleep on the floor. Kayak. Kai. Come here, buddy. Let's go.
Is that good?
Yep. Okay. Kai, sit. Yes. Down. Yes. Good boy. Yes. Kai, sit. Yes. Good. No. Good boy. Down. Oh, what a good boy. Sit. Kai, sit. Yes. Good boy. Good job. Down. Yes. Good down. Kayak, sit. What a good boy. Okay, that's all that's next. So there you go. Puppy push-ups. They are super helpful, reinforce skills, and you can do them with a dog at any age. Quinn is 6 years old, and Kayak is 9 months old. So, and you can do them with a treat or without a treat. They should be able to do them. Now, obviously, they're going to be a little bit more motivated when you have a treat. But like I said, you could give treats intermittently. Quinn will do them without.
So I have to tell you, buddy. Well,
go ahead.
I have to tell you, I thought when you first said that, my daughter and husband have been getting up early in the morning and exercising. And I thought it was going to be Kiwi actually will, when they go to do their push-ups, Kiwi puts his paws on my husband's back and they go up and down.
Oh,
it's hilarious.
That's
so
awesome.
I thought that's what it was going to be, but I'll get them to incorporate this.
Yes. Oh, that's cute. Okay. So some last reminders. Next few months are going to be great opportunities for you to get out and train. There's lots of things going on. You can get your dog to a fall festival. I know, let's see, Laura gave me some dates. Hold on. Okay, so on 46 in Sanford at the Rock Church on the 29th of October, they're having a fall festival. I know I went last year with my dogs. There's lots of things going on there, lots of smells, lots of sights, lots of sounds. If you live anywhere near there, it's free. And they're, you know, they'd love for people to come out. Your in-person training, I believe, is October 22nd, but she did not give me the location. I thought she told me it was at a Home Depot, so, or Lowe's, one of those two. I know that the newsletter has not gone out yet. Hopefully that will go out pretty soon. And I think that's it. I believe that's it. Does anybody have any questions before we end? Anybody? Going once, going twice? No? All right, we've been a small group tonight. Usually we're at 20 to 25. I don't know where everybody is. I wish they told us where they went. I know a couple people. I know David had texted me and said he couldn't get on, and Dina texted and said she couldn't get on. And I know Laura's in Arizona, or actually on her way there. So yeah. And I'm hoping I will be with you in November, maybe November training. I know they're also talking about the DeLand Christmas parade, and I know you're like, Christmas, oh no, but just to give you a heads up, the DeLand Christmas parade and the Winter Park Christmas parade, which are two parades we normally participate in, are on the same day. Winter Park is in the morning, DeLand is in the evening. So I don't know how they're going to work that. And I believe that's December 3rd. It's the first Saturday in December. So we usually have a pretty good crowd depending on which one we pick. We've done both. They're both great parades. I love the Winter Park one because of where it's at, the location. There's so many people. You see Santa. And I also like the DeLand one because it's in the evening and it's fun and it's all the lights. So I'm not sure if they've picked one yet, but anyway, just to kind of give you a little bit down the road on your calendar. So thank you, everybody. Those of you that joined us, we really appreciate it. And we will see you, I guess. I don't know which comes first. I don't know if it's the Q&A or the in-person, but whichever one comes first, that's when we'll see you. So happy October,
Thanks, Wendy.
and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Melina, were you able to take attendance? Hello? Did she leave me?